And today I'm going to share with you something that a lot of light workers don't do, but should. Light workers are the first person in line to give of themselves, to help other people out, to be kind, to listen, to be there for friends, family, and a lot of people who don't even really deserve it. It's natural for you. It's part of who you are. But what a lot of you folks don't do is offer that same compassion, understanding, patience, and love for yourself. You're going through a spiritual awakening right now. And that, by definition, implies more awareness, more clarity about who you really are, including your motives, your deep, dark secrets, your shortcomings, your darkness. And as we go through this unfoldment process and have our darkness sort of pummeled at us in our face time and time again, it can be challenging not to start to create this negative self-concept that we're bad, we're not good people, we don't deserve love, abundance, success, and all those things that we wish and hope and pray for other people. I'm reading this book right now by one of my favorite spiritual teachers it's by this guy named Thich Nhat Hanh. Not sure if you've heard of him. He's one of the masters, I would say, on the planet. Somebody who really abides in the awakened state, fully present, fully conscious type of dude. And he's got this book, Zen and the Art of Saving the Planet. And I've read many of this guy's books. He's amazing, real sweet, nice, gentle man. And I love him mainly, or one of the things I really like about him is his attitude towards the darkness. There's this whole other book he has actually called Fear. And it's about basically embracing your shadow, which is something we hear a lot. Embrace your shadow. It's okay. Have self-compassion. These are concepts. These are heady concepts that most of us don't truly take to heart. And he has this sort of way of explaining it where he always advises people to meditate and to go inward. He says, as you do, oftentimes, as you awaken, as you start to confront and become aware of your pain, your fear, your darkness. And it's very natural to judge ourselves or to run from it or to suppress it. He says you should treat it with the same exact gentle, loving kindness you would that of an innocent child. I tell this funny story sometimes where my son Lucas one time, we were like driving across the country, me and for those of you who don't know, I have a family, 3 children, a wife, and we've driven across the country more times than most people. And one of these times, my son Lucas was probably like 5 or 6 at the time, and he had this, I don't know why, but we let him have this little Nerf gun. And it's like probably 8-9 hours into the drive, and it shoots me right in the back of the neck. Oh, God. I was so pissed off, I probably did yell at him. But after a moment of my initial reactionary anger, I realized he's just a kid. He doesn't know any better. I don't think he's a bad person. He's a great kid. He's full of light. I don't judge him, right? That's what Thich Nhat Hanh is saying. We are all children. We are all people that deserve the same kindness and compassion as other people. And he says in meditation, when your darkness comes up, have that attitude of compassion for yourself. And that will allow a lot of that stuff that you're becoming aware of, that you don't like, that you wish weren't there, it ironically allows it to sort of leave. But it almost doesn't matter if it does or not, because you have a completely different attitude towards it. Something I've talked about many times was my addiction. When I was 19 years old, I was a full-blown drug addict, hardcore. intravenous heroin user. I had to shoot heroin multiple times a day to avoid getting dope sick. And I kept getting fired from my jobs because I was a freaking junkie. So I had to resort to lying, stealing, cheating, and I resorted to behaviors that were far different than what my parents raised me to do. My parents were good people, but I became a monster. I became a completely like a zombie. And I would do anything I had to do in order to get drugs. And as a result, I left quite a wake behind me in some of the things I would do. And you know, I worried and really affected in a very bad way a lot of the people that really meant something to me. My family, my friends, they were so worried about me. I was stealing from them. And these were things that I'm not proud of. I'm not proud of any of that. But I've learned not to be ashamed of it either. I don't beat myself up over it. And I've seen that me going through that experience, my darkness allows me, in some mysterious way, to actually share more light. Me going into the depths of darkness, allows me to see the darkness in other people with compassion and understanding. That experience humbled me. It gave me an incredible depth of empathy for human suffering. It's made me into a really good coach. It's made me to an awesome father, a great husband, a good friend, a good person. And your darkness does the same thing for you too. But it's important that you accept it within yourself. More than accept it, embrace it. That's how you integrate your darkness and use it to shine. I'll leave you with this, something my wife Patty always talks about. My wife has this special connection with plants. Believe it or not, she really can connect with the the spirit, if you will, of plants. And she has a really deep, meaningful relationship with freaking regular old plants. One of her favorites, if not the favorite, probably not the favorite, but one of them is roses. And my wife went through this period a long time ago where she dieted rose, which is a dieta. It's a shamanic dieta where you essentially restrict your calories and eat very simple foods. And you also restrict a lot of stimulation. So you're in a very pure, clean, receptive state. And every morning you meditate with this plant. You drink rose tea and you use your focus to connect with the rose. And then if you can do that and you can be receptive and open up, the spirit, the consciousness in the rose can start to share wisdom and blessings and healing with you. And this is something my wife does from time to time. And she always says that Rose always likes to bring up the fact that she has thorns. These pricky little thorns that'll cut you if you're not careful. Maybe they're not even very attractive looking. But she says the rose has nothing but pride. She wears her thorns with pride. She's not ashamed of her rose. She doesn't cover them up. She says, they are a part of who I am. They are what makes me what I am. They are as much of a part of me. It's a beautiful bloom and blossom that most people focus on. And so is your darkness. It's a part of who you are. It's made you the person you are now. And if you can really shift your perspective and offer yourself the same compassion and love and understanding and patience you would other people, you can learn to use that darkness that you used to wish was just swept under the rug for the greater good, for the advancement of your own life and for the betterment of humankind. I hope you enjoyed that video, my friends. This was actually inspired by an email I send out. I have a newsletter I send out a couple times a week where I share messages very similar to this. It's totally free. If you want to get my newsletter, just click down below. I'll leave a link. With that said, much love to you, my friends. Peace.